Hey YouTube, hey YouTube, hey. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna do my final little mid-season recap vid, and this time it's going to be about The Walking Dead. I've left the best for last, in my opinion, not really. Um, I I'm kind of watching The Walking Dead because it's there. It's on my planner, it's saved, and I'm just sort of going through the motions. Like the same reason people go to see Transformers movies. They're like, well, it's out, it's there. You don't know if you're going to get a good time. You just know it's coming out, and you may as well because it'll kill time. That's how I feel with The Walking Dead now. The first season was epic. The second season got worse. The third season picked up. Um, but for me, The Walking Dead is just so inconsistent in quality. The first half will be excellent, or then the second half will be terrible. For me, I haven't really liked any of the episodes since they killed the governor. I'm glad they killed the governor. I hate it whenever they keep a villain like on for too long, or if they try and make every plot revolve around him, or turn him into an anti-hero, or neuter him in any way. They didn't do that. He got his just desserts, and it was a crowd-pleasing moment. But since then, um, it was kind of bad. The whole so spoilers, by the way. Season 5 kicks off with them as well, as we last saw them. The main cast were trapped, imprisoned in this terminus train station, small town, owned by a bunch of cannibals. And you kind of think, all right, cool. So this season's going to be like Walking Dead meets Prison Break as they try and break out. No, by like halfway through the first episode, they're out. And you're like, okay, so it's going to be like The Walking Dead on the run. By the third episode, they've overpowered and killed their own their hunters. So you're like, okay, what is this? What's the premise of the show now? It's just it just goes on, and they kind of factor in. They splinter off into their own little groups. It's so weird. They come across a church and a priest who's kind of too much of a sissy to exercise any kind of violence. Um, they sort of take shelter in his church and then fortify it, and then he pussies out and tries to escape, and that leads to more zombies coming in, and then they save his life, and they're like, see, you don't do that. Have a sledgehammer. Um, and that's annoying. Beth, one of Herschel's daughters, she wakes up somehow in a hospital that's overrun by the police, in like some sort of weird totalitarian, like the matron from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. She kind of rules with an iron fist, and she's like, "I'm keeping things together until rescue comes." And Beth's like, "There is no rescue coming. It's it. This is the end." Da. So she runs a pretty tight ship. It's full of cops who take advantage of the orderlies and just sort of run the shit. It's bear. So eventually, and everybody hits Chris is in it, and then he gets out, and then he encounters Daryl, and Cheryl, and then they swap, and then there's an exchanging of prisoners that goes horribly wrong. This video is going to be so much shorter than I intended it to be because I'm just powering through this, man. I'm not a fan of The Walking Dead anymore. I'm sorry if you still get your kicks off The Walking Dead. Fair play, man. Love what you love. But for me, I it just see it's getting redundant, man. It's just there's so much like forced and hurried plot lines. Like some of your favorite characters don't really do much other than be badass. I don't really connect to any of them. I mean, off the top of my head, I can name Rick, Carl, Daryl, Michonne, Glenn, um, Glenn's hot wife. Yeah. There's the guy who looks like an out of shape Sheamus from WWE, him with a mustache, and his mate with a mullet, who's a scientist who are gonna help solve all this and bring peace to the world and reverse the zombie apocalypse. They go on a bit of a road trip, as they were all the time. Glenn and his hot wife. They go along with them. They've hijacked a fire truck. They get along, and then it turns out that the clearly autistic guy who was saying he could save the world, after an episode after he gives a complete detailed rundown of how he can reverse the zombie apocalypse, tells them he's not going to reverse the zombie apocalypse because he was lying and he was faking it and he just needed people to get out of trouble. This is the only moment that stands out for me in the whole first 9 or 10 episodes, whatever it was. And that whole episode is about Seamus guy, and it's a flashback of how his family were terrified of his own sort of mad dog nature when he's like, he has the bloodlust in him whenever he's attacking the zombies and defending his family, and they run away in fear from him. And then after he recuperates from the zombie attack, he goes home and finds that they've left, and then he finds their bodies because, you know, running away from your best source of protection during a zombie apocalypse is just dumb. And then the mullet scientist shows up to him when he's about to shoot himself, and he ends up helping him, and that's how they've brainwashed each other. And it's I don't know. Again, just unfulfilling storylines. The acting itself, I don't have a problem with it, but oh my god, right. Like, one final thing. A few of my final thoughts here, YouTube. Alright, now as I said, Beth is in a hospital. She's an orderly. She's sort of being kept there against her will by totalitarian cop. And everybody hates Chris and Rick and Daryl and Sharon. Oh, they all make a deal, and they're going to do a trade-off, prisoner from prisoner. Well, first they're going to trade off a couple of cops that they've kept captive themselves for Beth. Then it becomes a case of everybody hates Chris, has to go back to work for us. And then, just as everything seems to be okay and hunky-dory, Beth goes, I get it now, and stabs totalitarian cop, who in turn involuntarily shoots her and kills her. And you're sitting there going, well, I don't get it, what the fuck? So it's more like, hey, do you know what will shock them? This. Alright, but why are they doing that? But this though, it's just I don't have a lot of good things to say about The Walking Dead anymore. The first season was fantastic. They kept it short. It's like Frank Darabont used to be the showrunner on this, and it's like ever since he quit or left or whatever, the whole show's just gone. I'm gonna say it's gone downhill, but it hasn't. It's sort of been really inconsistent in quality. You'll have 2 diamonds in the rough, good episodes mixed in with about a dozen episodes, and it's I'm not swayed on The Walking Dead. If you like The Walking Dead, good on you. If you like The Walking Dead and you haven't watched Game of Thrones, shame on you. That's not cool. Sort it out, because I mean, you really don't know what you're missing. And that's it. Yeah, that's my review of the first half of season 5 of The Walking Dead. I believe it starts back in the US this week. I will probably do some videos on the latter half, but you know, it's The Walking Dead. It's nothing to write home about, but it's there. It exists, and if you got it on your planner, go ahead, give it a watch, just like I do. But alternatively, just watch Flash, Arrow, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, any number of better shows. That's all for me. If you liked this video, please click like, subscribe, view, share, and all the usual jazz. Otherwise, bye-bye.